Hey everybody, it's Robin Young again. I wanted to do a quick follow-up on the Lucinda Uddin case. The and for those of you who don't know, Lucinda Uddin is the American cognitive neuroscientist. She was the founder of the graduate program at the University of Miami. She's director of brain connectivity and cognition laboratory and professor director of the center there at UCLA. Well, she last September she filed a lawsuit on behalf of all scientists against the publishing oligopoly, the literal handful of companies that publish almost all life science research. And between that September filing and the first responses by the defendants in February 2025, so from September to February, it took a few months for the defendants, that is, the journals, to organize their lawyers and organize their responses. And they filed their responses in February. Well, I was just getting caught up on the recent filings, and I ran across some stuff that just was incredible. And I thought I'd share some of the things with you. And I just wanted to say, just as kind of a backdrop, set the stage, if you will. This lawsuit, I think, is a monumental battle for the soul of science, namely the fight to create, test, and disseminate your original work while also retaining title and getting, receiving compensation for that work. The defendants in this case are publishers Elsevier, John Wiley and Sons, Sage Publications, Springer, Taylor and Francis, Walter Clowers, and then a bunch of executives, which are called John Does 1 through 50. So in her lawsuit, Dr. Udin, and forgive me if I'm not pronouncing her name correctly, Dr. Udin is alleging collusion among the world's six largest for-profit publishers, violation of the Sherman Act, the Antitrust Act, unlawful appropriation of billions of dollars that would otherwise fund scientific research. And what she's really saying in that point is if you receive funding from foundation or a nonprofit, the government, or even industry, and you have to pay some of that 2,500, a thousand, 7,000, $11,000 to get published. The money that you paid the publishers is a misappropriation of the funds that you receive. You're supposed to use for actual science, and it's billions of dollars. It's the publishers made about $13 billion last year, and their profit margins on that, as Dr. Uden makes states in her lawsuit, and it's easy to look it up because they're basically public companies. It's about 20% of sales, 18 to 20% of sales. To put that in context, that's as good or better than Apple or Google. So anyway, the all both sides in this thing have been kind of organizing their motions, and got the typical pre-trial motions to dismiss, and then the arguments. The Dr. Uden and her lawyers respond by saying no. And I was reading through some of those most recent motions, and oh, by the way, all of this pretrial stuff is supposed to wrap up, according to the judge, by the first part of August, like August 6th or 7th of this year, which kind of sets up the trial to begin end of the year, first of 2026. But anyway, I was reading through the documents and I came across just some amazing, crazy stuff. I thought I'd share that with you. Um, So it's the publishers belong to a trade association, and trade association is called STMs, the International Association of Scientific and Technical, something like that. And and it and they state, and they have a code of ethics that every publisher has to sign up for. It's not a voluntary thing. Anyway, when you sign up as a publisher, you agree, along with all your colleagues, all other publishers, you agree to several principles, including first, that all the peer reviewers are volunteers. So each publisher has signed off on that. You're a volunteer to do peer review. Like, all of your training, all of your expertise is worth nothing. You're a volunteer. And then if you are a scholar, you want to have your work published, which is you do because you want to disseminate what you do, what you've learned, your knowledge. Uh, this is a quote, Principle 3.3.1, quote, it is generally agreed that scholars who wish to have their own work published in journals have an obligation, not volunteer out of the goodness of their hearts. No, you're obligated. And to whom are you obligated? You're obligated to the same journals you just paid a fee to be published. You, the author, have an obligation to do, quote, a fair share of reviewing for the journals. You don't have a choice. If you want to publish, if you want to progress in your career, you owe them, apparently. And then the next principle, 3.1.4, says that submitting the same manuscript to more than one journal concurrently constitutes unethical behavior and is unacceptable. It's unethical that there should be competition and risk making less than 13 billion a year. Is that what they're saying? And unacceptable to what? Make 20% profit margins? It's just ridiculous. I thought I'd share that with you. And the final the final great phrase I saw in one of the documents was, quote, the defendant's misconduct. I think this is absolutely true. The journal's misconduct has diverted billions of dollars that would have otherwise gone to fund scientific research. And these journals have colluded. This is from the documents that were filed to create and exploit perverse market failures, delaying and hindering scientific progress. To that I say amen. Anyway, I'm Robin Young, and for those of you who don't know me, uh, I'm the publisher that founded Orthopedics This Week 20 years ago this year. This is our 20th anniversary. I'm no longer publisher because I sold it last year. I'm still editor, though. And I also founded a database business called Pearl Diver. And I did all that after spending about 25 years on Wall Street as a sell side analyst. And I helped found one of a private equity firm years ago. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for listening. And I plan to keep following this and post new updates as I see them, because this is for the research community. Uddin's lawsuit is really important, and I'm going to make sure that you get the information that's available. Anyway, thanks a lot, and talk to you soon.